How's it going, everybody? I am Donut, as always. This is a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, fucking kill yourself. We are reading a one-shot by Nagai. This is Oni, Rebellion of the Year, 2889. This is part of a collection of one-shots in which, like, every volume was, like a, thematic thing. Like, each volume followed a theme and had either multiple one-shots in it, or I think this one probably only had one-shot in it, but I don't know. Either way, typically, when it comes to collections of one-shots, I try not to read any collections of one-shots until the entire thing's translated, but I highly doubt this one's going to get translated. I mean, I was waiting for the Fukumoto one to get translated for years, and it's still not translated. So, we'll just read some of these occasionally, but hopefully, the plan is for, eventually all these one-shots to get published, and then, or to get translated, and then we'll, read through each of them and stuff. But, I don't like reading shit. Even when it's a collection of one-shots, I hate not reading it in order. It bothers me so much, but I will get over it. But we got a Oni here on the cover with golden fucking blonde hair. Terrifying Oni faces. Always got Oni that has like real hair. Always fucking creeps me out so much. But I don't know anything about this. I know. I guess I know. It was like his first serious thing. Everything else was just like sort of gag stuff, and this was his first serious thing. Though I'm definitely a person who is usually much more into the gag stuff, but still. And okay, so no, this did have other chapters in it too. We just won't be able to read those. Like, even if I can't read, all the one-shots from this collection, I at least would have liked to read all the one-shots from a single volume. But we will deal with it. If these ever get translated, I'll probably just make another video that is just this reaction and all those together in one video. But anyway. And yeah, Rebellion of the Year 2889, so it's going to be like a sci-fi thing, but also Oni, and Oni you typically think of as a more historic thing. Time for Rebellion is here, against those humans. But yeah, so assumingly, like, Oni have been oppressed by humans? Aren't you in hell? I guess, each Oni story is a bit different, so we'll have to take it as it comes. Alright, in a forest, and Oni makes their way through the forest. About a secret hideout, actually. Secret Oni hideout. Alright, caves below the jungle. And then the face splits open as doors. So we can come in, and here's all the other Oni. They look just like people, but with horns. Alright, it's here, the moment we've been waiting for. Rebellion. So long. It's been so many maddening months and years. Months and years. So, okay, like, I assume this would have been like, it's in 2800, so I assume it would have been like, after thousands of years of oppression, but like, seems like it's a lot more recent than that. Through this suffering, we only have built up our strength to fight, and now we get to fight them, those humans. In 1 minute, our spies' hands will destroy the power tower at the heart of Un City. For like UN City, okay, United City, I see. And then he's got a little tiny watch on his bracer, on his fucking Oni bracer, little tiny watch. Okay, and then boom, yep, blows up the tower. What do they call it then? Just the power tower. The power tower that delivers all power to the whole city. It's just one of them, just one big old power tower. And they got a giant fucking screen TV, all watching, but they're all nervous, like what's gonna happen next. Okay, this is the last power tower. Okay. So, yeah, this is not like, oh, this is the only one that powers everything, but this is just the last attack. The last one, now they are without power. And now it is time for rebellion. But yeah, so like they don't, interestingly, the Oni, the Oni I think of as just like super unbelievably powerful. They got an army of Oni, I'd just be like, yeah, they should be able to kill all humans. But it seems like they're actually way weaker than humans. At least they have to shut off all their power first. And yeah, I'm curious when this came out, actually. I'll have to look that up in a second. But like, yeah, this is like super spy-like, extremely spy. I mean, they also like are spies that went and did this too. But yeah, so what you would think of for a title like that, but this is going to be a very spy story. Okay, so this came out in 1970. January 1st, 1970 is when this came out. Okay. But also, I was told this was his first serious work, but if this came out in January 1970, it can't be his first serious work. Like, first serious work would have been, I assume, Gorilla High. But I'm not sure if something else, came out before then as well. But yeah, Gorilla High definitely came out before this. So, not actually his first serious work. And okay, so then they come in through the sky on, like, spaceships to come invade. And okay, they know, yeah, it's the Oni are rebelling. And then, okay, what the hell did they just do? Oh, they were like seeing it from the other perspective. They're shooting down. Yep. And even in people's houses. I mean, they just got fucking UFOs. But man, the art is not good in here. Not good. This isn't even an excuse to like, oh, this is an early work of his. It's so late into his, he did like 100 series before Shameless School. And this is years after Shameless School and not super long after Gorilla High, but like only like a year after Gorilla High, but still. All of his other series have much better art. Even this is like so lazy compared to the rest of his series. He was not putting his all in this. And okay, so they knew, like, yeah, there was 400,000 Oni in UN City. Okay, so they knew that the Oni existed, and like, it seems like they were just living around, having a normal life. And then, like, how did the Oni come to be? It doesn't seem like they've been here for the whole time. It seems like this is a much more recent thing. And they can't get in touch with any of the other cities, because all their power's down. In the eyes of the Oni, humans should appear greater than God. How could the Oni oppose humans? This is totally absurd action. Like, this feels more like, we're talking about, like, it's a race thing, That feels like much more like what this is sort of implying, so. But also, they don't feel like they've been here for the entire time, so. I mean, maybe they had, but, like, the way they said months and years feels so short-term. And okay, meanwhile, in the middle of this meeting, an Oni comes to interrupt it. And he's just got their head in his fucking mouth. Long time no see, Glias. May you accept these, your wife's head. Oh my god, your wife and your daughter. Yep. I thought he was gonna like say like to all of them, like I got all your wives' heads. But no, just one guy, just the main guy here. But your wife and daughter's head, got him. Oh my god. Crazy. And you become Oni. You finally become a genuine Oni. So they're not actually Oni, they're humans that have been like experimented on or something. Yeah, not just an appearance. You're Oni all the way to your heart. That explains maybe the scarring all the face and why I said they look like just normal people with horns. Damn Oni, fuck it Oni. My heart has become of Oni. And he's crying too. Who made me into Oni? Answer me, Gulias. I assume that's just his name. But, okay, so they don't know how they became like this. Okay, more giant Art Deco buildings. But all the spaceships fly away? What the fuck? What the fuck? They're just becoming a galaxy? What just happened? All the spaceships fly away and they just sort of spin in a circle and that creates a galaxy? The 29th century was a glorious time for mankind. Okay, what the fuck was that about? The amazing progress of civilization had freed humans from labor. They could finally unravel the mystery of life and create complete human being through synthesis of inorganic matter. Okay, so they just like created them full up. No, well, not like experimentation or anything. They just made human beings. But humans gave them horns to distinguish them from mankind and called them Oni. But yeah, okay, so not like a race thing, more like a robot sort of thing, robot uprising sort of thing, but like it's also synthetic humans, so it's got the like mix of both going on. Actually, to be fair, as I've talked about in other series as well, like when you have like synthetic humans or something similar to that, but for this example, we'll say synthetic humans, but like yeah, it's much closer to like, disabilities, and especially disabilities that come through government, fuckery. Like, whether, an easy example from recent times would be COVID. We had COVID, the government didn't do a whole lot of shit about it, and then, before it was too late, and then, now just a shitload of people have long COVID and problems that are completely new and no one's ever had in history before now, and the government still does nothing about it. It is that, like, you caused me to be like this, and now you're ignoring me, and it's turning me into the fucking Joker. I mean, I think killing the, healthcare CEO is also a perfect example of this. It is the, like, that is a much closer example to it. Like, the lack of neglect of, like, healthcare and shit like that. Or also, like, I think this is actually very relevant also to, like, people who go off to war, get injured, get massive, like, debilitating, shit happen to them, or mental debilitating shit. And then they come back and they get no help and are just told to deal with it. And then they go on shooting sprees. Because what else do you expect? You're fucking turning them into the Joker. And, like, yeah, it feels like that's, sort of what we're doing here. And now the curtain rises on the lurid and tragic history of humans and Oni. Just in a Art Deco. Is this a house or is this a business? I don't know. But, alright, what's going on? This is nonsense. Indeed, Papa, society's gone mad. Humans are not gods. We shouldn't just create and kill Oni without excuse. Oh, okay, so, never mind. I thought they were going to be bad people, but never mind. But, okay, so they've got an Oni here as well. But yeah, I feel like, this goes into the whole talk about this in real life, making artificial DNA and being able to, clone and stuff like that. The problem is never, people want to boil it down to oh, should we create a synthetic life or not? When that's not the moral question of, do we have the right to make a synthetic life? Most people who are against it, there's of course the religious people who are against it, but most people who are against it because you don't want the government to have that ability or that power. It's not about, is it right or not to make a synthetic human? It doesn't really matter. You can make a synthetic person. I don't think most people have a problem with that. The problem is knowing how they're going to be treated, what it's going to be like, just like the fact the government's going to do what the government does, and that's the circumstance here as well. It's been a century since the synthetic humans, the Oni, were created, and yet there are no laws against humans killing the Oni. Yep, that as well. But it's been a century? Why did they say months? Yes, technically it's true, but nobody would say that. But also, this being the 1970s, this feels like this is also obviously touching on civil rights in America going on and all that. Assume with the fact that there's no laws against killing humans killing Oni. Also, it's been a century since the synthetic humans, the Oni, were created. And I guess that's going into it's been a century since slavery, and then there's still no laws against the killing of black people. But I assume that's what he was saying. I was thinking of civil, they've just gained a bunch of civil rights, and yet still being killed constantly, nothing really be done about it whatsoever. But no, I think he's referring back to just the end of slavery. Yeah, just like in the days of slavery a dozen centuries ago. So okay, yeah, literally that's exactly what he's saying. Nowadays, machines work in place of humans, and humans have too much time on their hands. For modern people who are too tired, I miss when we thought this was. I mean, it was only a couple of years ago when we thought this would still eventually be a future we could get to, but I think now everybody's awoken to it's never going to happen. But it's such a ideal. I wish we had time on our hands. And for modern people who are too, I mean, it also it's so funny reading stories about the when people have too much time on their hands, this is all the shit they're gonna do. But I don't think any of that would ever happen. For modern people who are too tired to seek stimulus, the Oni have become the perfect plaything. Make them kill each other like Roman gladiators. I mean, people always say that too. I mean, when people have too much time on their hands, they're gonna do gladiator fights. When that's not what the gladiator fights were about. There was gladiator fights because everybody was fucking bored. I mean, yes, but we also have movies and TV and shit now. People are gonna be so bored by this. But yeah, what I was getting at was they always try and frame this it's the people who are to be doing this and not the people in charge. And then yeah, throw the Oni into a wild animal's cage. But I mean, yeah, this is very relevant to what they would do to black people. And the sporting event Oni Hunt, where we make the Oni naked and defenseless and lead them out of the woods and let the hounds attack. Yeah, we are just pulling this straight out of shit that was happening to black people in the 50s and the 60s. And the 70s as well, but I mean, this is written before the 70s even happened, but... And yeah, just, Jesus Christ, just a hunting sport. Yep, and then riddle them with bullets when they actually do manage to escape. Yep, it's the classic, there's no winning. There's no winning. Yeah. But bring it back to, it's a time of madness where people are in constant search of new stimuli. Feels crazy. To say oh yeah, all the shit happening in America is because they're bored is insane. This is the most packed time period in America possible. You couldn't pick a more busy time in America. To say that it's because they're lacking stimulus is insane. But yeah, you're not the real Oni, it's the humans who have become the real Oni. Yeah, grateful to have people by my side who are willing to stand up for the Oni. But, yeah. And then the seasons change. Time skip. How has times changed? Or is this a flashback still? And then these two falling in love. But yeah, they wanna have this relationship, and he's the one pushing back on it. I mean, yeah, the fact that like he's the one pushing back on it, she's the one, going for it. Again, feels very realistic to this time. It's like it's always the girls who are breaking the boundaries between interracial relationships at this time. It's never the guys. It's always the girls. But yeah, what's the difference between human and Oni? The brain or the body is no different from a human, and the horns serve no purpose. But the Oni were made by humans, so humans are made by humans too. To Oni, a human is the same as God. How could I possibly marry a human who is my God? And I mean, like, it sucks. It fucking sucks. But, like, this is also the mindset of so many black people at this time, too, where they have been brainwashed into thinking that white people are like gods. And so then other black people trying to have rights. And there's all the infighting. I mean, we see it with fucking gay shit now. There's constant infighting because there's constant people who have the brainworms of thinking they are inferior because it's, look at society. Look at what's been told to them throughout their entire fucking lives. So, of course, this is like mostly him fighting back, him, believing in it. And if it's the only thing it's a lot easier sometimes for someone who's not involved with it to be like, this is crazy, why would you think that? But, like, that's literally all he's known. But also, like, yeah, big who's coming to dinner vibes. Big guess who's coming to dinner. And yeah, there's no precedent, but there's also no law against it. That's, yeah. Again, just like the 70s too. There's not a law against it, but there's also no precedent. So it's like, it's scary. It's fucking terrifying. And what about your family's honor? Can't you see the damage to your family name? Like, it's so funny. Like, even, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is about this exact scenario. And at no point is it like, oh, this will damage your family name. It's like, your daughter's gonna fucking die if she dates me. Do you understand? People are gonna lynch us. But no, that's not this. That's just, can't you see the damage I'll do to your family name? Oh my god. That's some real Japanese shit. I didn't think about it, but that's some real fucking Japanese viewpoint on this. God damn. But silhouettes embracing each other in the dark, with the snow being the only illumination. But, okay. Oh my god. Okay, so the father, yeah, we thought he was a good guy. Nope. As soon as he's, faced with the actual consequences. I mean, again, this is exactly what they say in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. The fucking, the Irish guy being like, oh yeah, it's always fun to see, like, a diehard liberal, when they're faced with the actual circumstance, they always have a little reactionary bigot inside them. Not every person, but every diehard liberal, anybody who would call themselves a liberal, this is what you would expect to come out. Yeah, I'll let you live like a human being. You went too far out of you to introduce my daughter. Jesus Christ, dude. God, this guy is the fucking worst, but I kind of go either way on it, like, I kind of do like that we are, going into, like, what they brought up, and I'm gonna keep bringing up Guess Who, is Coming to Dinner, because it's extremely fucking relevant to this, and almost certainly, he watched it and then did all this, But yeah, like, the fact that we are going into that, like, what if the dad was a piece of shit? Like, what if he actually was a reactionary bigot? I mean, to be fair, this guy's not a reactionary bigot, this guy is a bigot. But yeah, like most liberals in the world, you just wanted to convince the world that you're a rational human. It's all you give a shit about. You don't actually care about the benefit of humankind, you just care about looking like you care about the benefit of mankind. And yep, just fucking hits her. Alright, yeah. Go taste the Oni's way of life. Jesus Christ. And yeah, how can you blame him for thinking the way he does when this is also the fucking guy who raised him? Just picturing him laughing behind his back. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and then the rage boils up. Why must I do as the humans say? Have we Oni ever lived of our own volition? Always just doing what others say. Even though we were created by humans, Oni are not machines. They are living beings with feelings just like humans. We are living beings that know joy and sorrow. For living beings, we should live by our own will. We shall live by our own will. But alright, to get what I love, to get my joy, I'll do what I want. And then he's gonna return home, kill the father, yep, bust through the window, murder this man, Murder this man. I'm here to get Lillian. And yeah, you think you can oppose the humans in your position? But Oni are human. Or Oni are... Wait. Oni are human. I feel like there should have been like a dash, not a comma. But either way. Oni are humans. Oni, we're the same as humans. God. Yeah. Glad to see him fight back. Alright, but he didn't kill him, just knocked him out. Let's go to a world that is for us both. Alright, and then time flowed and 3 years came to pass. Now, back to the present, assumingly? I don't know. But I don't know, it's saying like, you know, surround them so they can't slip out. Is this... I don't know when this is taking place, because they're all just sort of chilling. Or is this Balmer? Is this Balmer and Lillian? Is this... Okay, yes. Lieutenant General, that was her father. Yep. So he's been on a hunt for him. That's why he brought the head of his wife and daughter, which daughter was his love. His fucking love. The woman he married. He killed her and brought her head to him just to make a point. Oh my god. I assume, but I don't know. She doesn't look like her at all, like the head that he brought in, so I don't know. At that time, I had no choice but to do what I did. Oh my god. You're just, you son of a bitch, girl. Or maybe this is just him saying this at this. Maybe that's supposed to be him saying that. I think it is supposed to be him. And this time I'll take you with me. He's gonna fucking kill her. But we already have a child. Your grandchild, a girl. And now she brings out the girl. This is my daughter. Is he gonna change? I doubt it. But yeah, the moment, hold her in your arms. No! I wouldn't let that Oni touch me! Hat. Oh yeah, the horns. The horns. Yep. Oh my god. These fucking eyes. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, turning into a Fukumoto character! It's Oni! Just gonna slam the baby. He throws the baby at the wall! That's insane! Like, from even an evil perspective, slamming the baby down on the ground, killing the baby. Anyway, he threw it at the wall! What a weird choice! What a weird choice! And now he's gonna pull out his gun and shoot it. Jesus Christ! Yep! Kills the baby! No, okay. She jumped in front of it. Killed your daughter instead. Jesus Christ, the blood from her neck pouring all over her fucking baby! Oh my god! Jesus Christ! Yeah, and now, Balmer, you killed him! My wife, my child. But no, it's your fault, you killed him! It was a mistake to make the Oni so beautiful. If only you bastard had been made unattractive, my daughter would have fallen in love with you. Let's make you ugly. Such a mistake shall not happen again. Oh, and again, bringing it to the shit happening to black people in the 50s and 60s. Being carved up. But yeah, so this has got to be all before the rebellion happened, of course, obviously. I didn't say it earlier, but like it's got to be, and this is why they all look so scarred up now. Or at least our main guy. Our main guy was all scarred up. I don't think the rest were, but that makes sense why he was. Jesus, he wants to make him a gladiator so he can just fear death until he dies of exaggeration. But yeah, I will not let this last. I will definitely live and come back to you to avenge my wife and child. And then to the gladiator arenas. I can't believe they have gladiator fights. I cannot imagine us ever doing it again. It's so boring. But day after day, just continuous battles. Good God, this art sucks. Go to Nagai. Put a little more effort in. Jesus Christ. And yeah, killing a fellow Oni, killing his companions, killing his comrades, killing my best friend. Lived through it all for the sake of revenge on you. I killed those unfortunate Oni for years to kill you. And now the rebellion's finally truly happening. And yeah, you're the one who made us Oni in both ways. Both like physically and heart. And now shoot off both his arms. Jesus Christ. Yeah, yep, you humans made us this way. But Bulmer, the rebellion has failed! Humans had hidden armed forces in each of their cities for emergencies, and every city the rebels are beginning to lose ground. Fuck, well, just take him out at least. They can at least kill this guy. And he's just fucking laughing away with both his arms blown off. God damn. Alright, off with his head. Off with his head. But now the building's under attack. Jesus Christ. Get in the spaceships and leave. The Oni are losing. Wait, what is happening? Wait, the humans get in spaceships and fight back? The humans also have these spaceships as well? But yeah, so they're just killing Oni. Wait, what's this Oni just flying through the sky or something? I mean, what was going on with this Oni, to be fair? This guy's not human at all. What was going on with him? What was happening there? Suddenly, a rebellion of Oni sprung up, which turned the cities of the world into warfare. But the humans, with their superior military technology, gradually regained power and defeated the rebel forces in various places. The Oni gradually walked to the path toward defeat. Jeez, shit. Well, the fuck? We still got like a few pages, you know, quite a bit of pages. So, where are we going with all this? Back to the base. Yeah, they're gonna find this place soon as well. Yeah, everybody who joins is just going to be killed as well. So the dark days just going to continue as slaves and playthings. But there is a way to defeat the humans. Even if we can't beat the humans of today's science, we can beat the humans of the past. We can beat the less civilized humans of the past. We're going to use a time machine to attack the world of the past. So that's why we have the concept of Onis. Okay. So we must let this Earth civilization remain uncivilized. Let us not have such a time as this. What? We must let the Earth civilization remain uncivilized. I guess like they're talking about the time travel thing. Let us not have such a time as this, as in like let's not let this, you know, rebellion being thwarted happen again. And yeah, with the time travel, you know, it depends on what kind of time travel we're talking about. But like if human history holds in the past, we will never be born. It's just gonna be suicide. But true, it's not just suicide, it's suicide that takes humans to hell with it. But also, it's suicide, isn't that better? You guys will then, you know, not have to be going through any of this shit. Like, you know, there's no way to, like, do it unless everybody actually kills themselves here. But you can, you know, go back in the past and change it so it's never happened. And yeah, if we weren't born, we wouldn't know pain nor sorrow. We would know nothing. This would all end. Yeah, I mean, having to just agree, yeah, we were better off not having been born. Humans have won in a way just from that alone. But then to 1080 Japan. In this period, Japan was ruled by the emperor and the Fujiwara clan, and the culture of dazzling aristocracy. Why can't I say that word? Why can't I? Aristocracy. Why, is that how you say it? I don't know. Was thriving in the capital city of Heian-kyo. This was the era. It was this era and here in Japan that the Oni rebels, led by Bulmer, first set foot. However, as in every era, while the front page of the history is preposterous, in contrast, behind it in the shadows were the ugly feuds of humans, even before the appearance of Oni. It goes without saying that a hellscape of insatiable desires had already emerged. But even more violent massacres rose to erase history for the sake of the Oni. No, for the humans themselves who created the Oni. The Oni are about to paint a new, unprecedented picture of hell. And why did you guys all change appearance? What happened? They all changed appearance somehow. And truly, Nagai could not be asked to draw this at all. It's gonna be fucking stick figures. Fuck you guys. And in Japan, in the Song Dynasty, in the Holy Roman Empire, and throughout the world, atomic bombs were dropped. We had this the whole time? And we didn't use it against the humans? Then Bulmer just rushing in the face of an atomic blast. This ending is classic Nagai fucking shit ass ending. He can't even write an ending in his one-shots. Guy, how are you so bad? I've never seen anybody this bad at writing endings. How are you this bad? Oh my god. Then the bomb drops. And then, yeah, just the bomb. Now, erased from existence. Now, what in the world do I do? Suddenly, in a hail of blood and carnage, this unexplained question arose. What have I done? destroyed cities, burned villages, killed men, killed elderly, killed women, killed children. What in the world do I do now? Have I merely crushed helpless and defenseless people like insects? And what about now? How many more lives do I intend to take? Who am I? Am I not doing the same thing as the men of the future? Ah, Oni, I am an Oni. I am a demon. I have finally become an Oni, just as the people of the future were demons to us. To the people of the past, I have become complete Oni, cruel in body and soul. Okay. Okay. This ending fucking shit. Well, the history of mankind must be erased. We must become Oni and continue the slaughter. Okay, we're still going! We're still going! I've had so many epilogues! And on January 1st in the year 19XX, which presumably 1970 when this first came out, who can say with certainty that the very same prejudice and contempt that the future men showed toward the Oni is not being committed? You could easily say, there are no such people with a humanistic and diminutive look on your face while the problems of black people in America exist. Outright saying it! But when you really look at your immediate surroundings, or even at yourself, what do you see and what do you feel? Is it possible that every single one of your actions is pushing someone closer to the point of endless slaughter in the future? Well, okay, I can see what he's saying. I can see what he's saying. At first, I thought he was saying in a, more personal sense, but no, he does mean on a grand scale. This is actually a really good message to have. Just think about what you're doing in your daily life. Is there a group, like Black people in America, that you are oppressing in Japan? There's lots of them. Think about your actions. Think about how you're oppressing other people and the ripples that will cause a slaughter in the future. Even though, comparing that to the civil rights movement, which was the most opposite of that possible, complete peaceful movement. Not that there's anything wrong with violence, to make your point. Definitely. I mean, they had to make violence to actually get real rights. But no, in reality, who can guarantee that the carnage that has already begun to wipe out the history of mankind will not wipe out our tomorrow, or even today? What? I don't even know what the fuck you mean by that. But, oh well, anyway. And okay, that's the end. And that's the end. By Nagai's words, this was his first serious manga. So even by his own words? But I mean, to be fair, I don't trust mangaka to understand their own history. Any person, if you try and tell them to tell you about their past, they're probably going to get shit wrong. Especially someone who's drawn as much manga as Nagai. I'm not surprised that he forgot about shit. Also, as a creative, you say shit off the cuff as just a thing. I say a billion things in my reaction that then I look in editing and I'm like, I don't know why I said that. That didn't make any goddamn sense, or that's not true. I said this was my first X, or this is the first time I've ever seen X, or, anything like that. And then most of the time, I'll immediately be like, oh no, I was forgetting about this and that, or whatever. I feel like this is the same thing. He's like, yeah, it's my first serious manga, but then he probably immediately, the next day was like, oh shit, right, I had this one, I had this one. But before this, he was only known as a gag manga artist. Not quite, but... So he wanted to prove that he could draw other than just gag. He didn't prove it with this one. This one sucked shit. It had a promising beginning, like all Nagai stories, and then we got to the end, and he doesn't know what to do, and he panics, and he makes the worst ending possible. I'm such a huge defender of endings as well. So many series I've read, and I've been like, love that ending, 10 out of 10, and every other person's like, I hate it. I feel like when it comes to endings in general, most people hate them. People just hate endings. It's hard to please anybody with an ending. But I'm someone who typically likes endings. Most endings I like. And so it says a lot that Nagai, I'm constantly like, his endings are fucking terrible. Oh my god. But yeah. I appreciate what he was trying to do. I appreciate the effort that he attempted. It didn't quite work in a lot of places, but it worked in other ways and stuff like that. And it's a one-shot. At the end of the day, it's a one-shot. Who really cares? But I mean, I think he honestly really shot himself in the foot by doing the time travel thing. I think this was a decent story, and the time travel thing ruined it. I feel like that is the case for a lot of stories, though, where they have a pretty good ending going for them, and then they go, what if I right at the end said, by the way, there was a time travel thing, and that's why there was this thing from the past, because it was these guys. So many people are drawn to do that, and it's so bad most of the time. It's only good if you've been, planning to do it from the start, if you've been foreshadowing from the start. But most of the time, like this, it seems like an idea he had right at the end. That's all I gotta say. I'll see you guys for the next one shot. Until then, get the fuck out of here.